So today I am here with Guochen Yang. And so, Dr. Yang, could you tell us what your specialization is and what your primary positions have been?
All right. Well, thank you very much for the for the invitation. And my area of specialization is in plant tissue culture, micropropagation, and propagation at large, and also plant regulation in the plant physiology in the broad sense. So in my career, I'm a professor of horticulture, on campus, and of course, like any other faculty. So I serve as a major professor for doctoral and a master's, student, and also I'm serving as a graduate program coordinator. So I manage both, the brand new doctorate program and also master's program. So at the same time, I also serve as the as commissioner, on the North Carolina Industrial Hemp Commission. So currently, I'm serving as the oversight coordinator for the university hemp program with the USDA domestic hemp production program. So, and for the society, I'm a long-term, campus representative for ASHS, and in addition to some other committees.
All right. Could you tell us what horticulture has meant to your life and career?
Well, actually, horticulture, it means the whole world to me. So the reason for that, number one, horticulture beauty for the world. And number two, horticulture feed the people.
Yeah.
So I think that's very, very important. I think, to answer this question, I think the traditional horticulture definition is beautifully described, how important, the horticulture is. So the horticulture by definition, traditional definition is not my definition. It's the art and science of producing nutritional food for the body and the beautiful food for the soul. So I might add, that has been my all, life work, to educate the students in this, particular, mission. And I would say, without horticulture, without, agriculture, so we will be hungry,
Yeah.
and we will be homeless, and we will be naked. So which we don't want, all three. So
Exactly.
that's how important it is, and for me. So.
All right. So, could you let us know what you consider to be the most rewarding part of your career in horticulture?
Uh, yes, so for this question, I think, most, rewarding part is basically, I think, in advanced sciences. Number one, so, I'm very proud to say that I was awarded 2 US, patents. So that's really as a result of my research. And number two is educating and developing, the future generations of scientists and the leaders. And the last but not least, so work with and help the stakeholders and to solve the real society problem, the issues that the farmers are facing, and hopefully help them to enhance their overall economic status. So that's I consider these three areas, broad areas. So.
Great. So that brings us to how long have you been an ASHS member and how has the society influenced your career?
Oh, that's a good question. So let me just go from the very beginning. So I was introduced by my major professor, Dr. Paul Reed, and in March 1988. So Dr. Reed, my professor, is still a very active faculty member at my alma mater, University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So, and he was a legend a few years ago, was interviewed, and he was the president here, I think 20 some years ago. So, but anyway, so he introduced me, he registered me, as a member for the society. So this has been a wonderful journey of 37 plus years. So perhaps, a lot of more years. So I might add, so Dr. Reed has been attending this conference
For a long time.
since 1965. He never missed a meeting. So he is at this conference right now. I just talked with him. So I think he has a presentation on this coming Wednesday. So it's so that's my mark. So in terms of how the society helping me, just for my career, so I can pinpoint a few things. So people have to realize or remember. So ASHS is a professional association, and for the top-notch scientists in horticulture. So with that being said, that's ASHS represented the quality and also the trend in horticulture sciences.
Yeah.
So I can give a few examples. So ASHS really provide a platform, for information sharing. So which like the conference, annual conference, and also provided a platform and to the networking and with your peers, and particularly for those peers in your specific discipline. So with that being said, so that stimulates the new ideas. So you get networking, you get the information sharing. So you stimulate a lot of new ideas. So, and also I consider this, like annual conferences, like a really very effective way of literature review. So within a few days, so you get all the information, networking from your peers, and what's the trend. As I said, this is representing the quality and the trend. So what's going on. So you get the ideas. So you really enhance your own research activity, and at the same time, probably the enhance the science. So and then you educate the next generation, future generation of leaders and scientists. So at the same time, I want to also contribute to my own society, which is the ASHS as a long-term, member. So, just get involved, engage in all the activities, that's whatever the society is, doing or ask you to do. So.
Well, that's a good kind of segue into too. So what advice would you give students and young professionals in horticulture?
I would probably 3 ways. So number one, I would say, actively engage in professional society. I just elaborated it, so you got all the quality, you know what's going on down here, and also, connect with the stakeholders. So everything what, we are doing, basically, at the end of the day, we are helping our stakeholders. So you got to know what's the real issue facing the farmers, our stakeholders, and do what you really enjoy and you think you can contribute the most, and stick with it. So just keep on going.
All right. Given that, what excites you the most about the future of the horticulture industry and the profession?
I answered it in 2 ways. So number one, exciting the most the young people. We have a lot of young folks, very active, energetic, and enthusiastic in horticulture. So, and we have a lot of those young folks, right down here. I have a few, a student, including former student at this conference. So that gave me the confidence, for the future of horticulture. So the young folks, that's number one, that's people. And number two is the science and technology. Yeah. So science, I consider it, in 2 ways. So number one, the molecular biology and biochemistry and plant physiology. So that's from this side, and also the computer science and the equipment, all the designs, and the AI, the drones, all those. Yeah. That's really can help farmers, for the disease control, insect control, the weed control, and increase the quality and the productivity, and at the same time, so increase their proficiency, or efficiency of production. So that's kind of really save farmers at the time, and make more money. So that's I consider that.
Very exciting time. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.